Sending out the invitation now, folks. Hey, man.
You got it right.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, you got it right.
Well, welcome. This is a pleasure. This is the beauty of technology. A, when it works, and B, when it connects people like with myself to you. Because like I said earlier today in a private message, and also now, I've really had a good time getting to know your work. You're deep. You got a lot of layers there that I'd like to start going into. But anyway, we'll just dive into it. But welcome to Artists Like Me. This is a platform, my platform, that I want to share with you, that's handed over to you to give voice to your causes and your art form. And just tell us about yourself, starting with where are you and what are you doing now? What are you doing now in your life? We're going to take people on a bit of a hero's journey, if you will.
Yeah, and I guess everyone's going to get the exclusive update. So my name's Bunkin, aka Renell. I'm living in Hamilton currently. I wasn't born down here. I actually grew up in Sarnia, a little small town. Currently, what I'm working on is I got my upcoming project called Sex in the City. Ooh. And it's a 20-song project, and I've been pouring my heart out on it in terms of, I'm not really lyrical, but I poured my heart out in terms of producing and the mixing, the mastering, and the whole overall feel on the project. And I'm very excited to present it to everybody.
Oh yeah. So in terms of this project then, and remind me again, the name of the project is
Sex in the City.
That's it.
Very sexy.
You got me, I'm hooked. So let's talk about that process, Bunkin. What is or was the hardest moment in the process of getting this 20-song? This is more than just an album. This is a it's a full length right there. Yeah, but it's like what we call an omnibus. Everything you ever wanted to know about Bunkin, it's going to be in these 20 songs, at least for the time being, anyway.
Yeah.
So, what was the hardest moment?
I would say I'm going through it right now, currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. Let's get real. What's hard? What does hard look like for you in terms of this project?
The current moment, with society, I'm very uninspired right now, just with the current situation with the C word, and I've never dealt with anything like this. I've been going through a lot of writer's block, going through just life situations where I didn't really think I would run into, but. Everyone is really, at the end of the day, everyone's going through the same stuff.
Does that make it easier or harder for you, knowing that?
It makes it a little bit easier to just kind of, think about that. I see everyone's messages online and their statuses on how depressed they are about everything that's going on around. Do
you have a strategy for staying in the moment? Like for being, how to sort of, I have a whole philosophy of this. I call it my thank you moment. And the idea is, thank you are the two most disarming words in the English language. And so when you say thank you for some shit that you're going through or for the good times you're going through, it's really taking that moment just to give gratitude and acknowledge that moment. And what I find is when I say thank you for sometimes the shit I go through, that helps me to deal with it better, because I stop and take a moment to look at that shit and say, hey, is that my shit? Or is that somebody else's shit that they've dropped on my doorstep? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So do you go through that process yourself when you're trying to create in a milieu of what I'm going to call misery likes company?
Sorry, repeat. I just got a notification, so we're just kind of...
Sure, absolutely.
The last part of your question there.
Sure. What I mean is, when you're going through something that you're aware that other people are going through, whether it's a writer's block or maybe it's ill health, maybe it's just being depressed about something else that is not musically related. Do you find it's easier for you to work through those things knowing that there's other people who are feeling a lot like you are? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of when I am stressed and whatnot, like I do, I go to God too. Like I'm very, spiritual,
Amen.
and
Amen.
so that helps a lot.
Yeah, you can't write the kind of music you write and perform the way you perform if you don't believe in something that higher than yourself. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's because that's where you get your inspiration. Um, I read somewhere, I was reminded that, people who are good at something need to be told they're good. People who are great at something don't 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 even entertain those kinds of questions. They simply entertain the questions that are going to keep them great within their own minds. Just so,
Exactly. Hmm.
um, and that for me has always been something higher or something outside of myself. Call it God, call it inspiration, call it. I always say, the gods might be crazy, but they're still listening.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
listening to
yeah.
what we want.
I like that.
So what was the catalyst? What's the catalyst do you think will put, because you're going through you've admitted now that you're going through a moment, a hard time at the moment. What do you think is going to be that catalyst that pushes you through to make that change, to sort of get you over to that other side a little bit?
You know what? I'm hoping when the pandemic ends, like
Well, I
I
mean,
feel like that has a lot to do with
I
it
mean,
too
I
right
just
now.
share. I just went live. I just got my very first vaccine shot today.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna ask you how you were feeling after that.
well, you know what? If you don't mind, I'm going to light up. I'm going to light up, and I'm going to say, in about 3 seconds, I'll just be just fine. Feel free to light up if you partake, but no, I feel fine. It was the AstraZeneca, and it came about very quickly that my local pharmacy was dispensing of them, and I happen to have been dealing with that pharmacy for many years. It's right at the corner from where I live, and called up, and next thing I knew, I had an appointment for today, and yeah, so I feel good about it, primarily because I'm spending a lot of time with a very dear friend who's elderly,
Hmm.
older than I am, and he's not well in many respects. So I wanted to protect him as much as I did myself.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of
So,
course.
did you have any other questions about that experience? And then we'll turn it back to you.
I just want to know how you're feeling even now. Like, you feel any changes?
No, in fact, the pharmacist who administered it is someone I know, and I said, his technique of administering is much better than my family doctor. So, so there you go. Everything's fine. But so when you say the pandemic ends, here's my question. I don't mean to poop on your parade, but what if it doesn't end? What if it doesn't end? Where do you go from there? So how can you be the person you are meant to be, the artist you're meant to be in this milieu? No changes made. How can you get through this?
Mm.
What do you think is going to be that change for you?
Like we can never say, and I feel that the way, especially the way my shows have always gone. I don't know if you've seen how close together people are.
Well,
um,
I do understand that one. Yes.
yeah, it's very, it's hard for me to play a show now, um, where people are so spread apart. And that's one reason why I'm just so uninspired too. Like just the whole,
Right.
I feel like I can't even be myself on stage, and get
Yes,
into and
I
get
do
close up
understand
in
that.
person.
I do understand that. I mean, that's true of anything. I mean, I find grocery shopping to be my worst experience. I never enjoyed it in the first place, you
Hmm.
know. But I don't even
I
cook.
feel like
So
that's it. I feel like that's the only kind of, that is honestly a really fun part of my day now.
going grocery shopping?
Yeah, that's a very fun part of my day.
Well, good, good. Next time you're out, get me a bunch of bananas or half a dozen oranges or something. Well, I guess my point is this. Um, I'm wondering, I'm wondering how the current situation could actually inform your current situation in terms of not feeling like helping you to think outside the box of what you're used to doing in your career. Do you think that's a possibility? Like, is that a road that you've dared even entertained of going down?
I would hope that I can cross there soon, but you know, right now I just feel like so many other things are overwhelming me, where it's kind of hard to tap in.
Yeah. My only suggestion would be then, Bunkin, is to take that moment by moment approach, and instead of thinking of all the things that aren't or all the things that could be, just be thinking of all the things that are, and that is one thing at a time in the moment of the time. Because your brain can't think of more than one thing at a time. So you might as well take one moment at a time and give each thought that you've got in your head all at once, going around and swirling like a rat on a spinning wheel. I know those ones. I mean, all creative people suffer from that. All creative people are rats on a wheel. You know that. We just keep going around and around, hoping that we keep doing the same thing, that it's going to result in different results. So I would just encourage you to take a moment of gratitude, and not to suggest you're not. I'm just saying,
and every day, don't get me wrong, every day I'm always like, it's the first thing I do. I'm always thankful for, you know, what I have, and you know what I mean? At least you know, I'm very healthy. I'm healthy for what I know. And
yes.
You know,
yeah. No,
so,
it's no fun living in fear, is it?
No, not at all.
No, it's no fun. So who might be the people in your life that, or things in your life at the moment that would help you along in this change that you feel a need for?
You know, I have my family. I have definitely my friends. You know, girlfriend, someone always to cuddle with is always nice.
Right. Yes.
But, just you know, the little things in life that matter. You know, like they're all.
Okay.
Everyone's around keeping me sane. At least.
I don't know. I think one of your best qualities is being crazy, because I love it. You know, you really lay it out. You lay everything out on the table, and you know that energy. I don't know if you know this or not. I'm a retired opera singer, so I'm very familiar with the process of singing in front of a group, and people who are paying to hear me, and I know the responsibility that comes with that kind of positioning. And my point is that nothing can, if a person has never experienced performing live for someone, you can't explain the experience, can you? It's just something that is magical and electric. And the challenge of any performer nowadays is to carry that electricity through a computer screen or through some kind of monitor that people are, and trying to convey that. And I'm just going to throw this out there, Bunkin. You don't have to worry about that. You come out loud and clear through the screen. You know, and your performance.
Sometimes a little too loud, eh?
No, not at all. I mean,
okay.
Because that's the beauty of it too. You know, if you're too loud, I'll turn you down. You know, I just press a button.
yeah.
You know that. Whereas I know when I'm on set, for instance, if I'm on a set and there's a live band. In fact, I was doing something 2 weeks ago. I was on a video set, a music set, and there was a live band, and one of the stage people came, or techies came, and said, "I need a Kleenex." I said, "What do you need a Kleenex for?" He says, "I want to make some earplugs." I said, "Oh, here, I got a whole suitcase of earplugs." You know, you always come prepared. So if I don't have the ability to turn you down on a volume level, I can certainly put in my earplugs, but I don't think that's the case. I'm really fascinated with your process of creation. What are the kinds of things that inspire you to put pen to paper, as it were, to come up with something that you feel might be worthy of you investing more time and energy into a song as a theme or something?
Well, I'd say that right now I've noticed, because I haven't been out as much, that has definitely put a big toll on whatever I've usually been writing.
Right.
But the process of me getting into the studio and stuff, I have a studio at my house.
Right.
And it's not even a studio. It's really just I record in my closet. And you know, I usually just you know, I'll wake up and I usually have everything. I'll kind of just wake up in the middle, like 6 o'clock, and I'll just write a little quick something, and then
Yes.
I'll go about my day. I usually skate around the city. So I'll be on my
Yes.
skateboard. I used to bike too, so I'll be on my
Yeah.
bike and I'll get a lot of ideas just while I'm outside. But lately, yeah, no, it's just been a little bit different. It's been hard, but I'm very grateful that I have full control of my music. I edit everything. I'm the one who co-produces everything. If I'm not co-producing, obviously I'm producing it.
Right.
But,
How important is that to you?
To me, it
Have
really
that kind of control.
it doesn't really matter.
No?
I just like I've always made music for just myself, and as I get farther down the ladder, I feel that it's like, I don't want to start making music for everyone else.
Right.
If you get me, it's always been for me, and just to make me.
I do get you. The best time I ever sang was when I was singing for myself. Basically. I mean, I think I produced the best sounds I ever have in my shower, and no one was there but me. And it's true. I mean, we all sound a little better in our showers, but no, I
See, I'm too shy to sing in my shower.
What's that?
I'm too shy to sing in my shower.
Well, yeah, well, there you go. Okay, so let's get a little heavier, and then we're going to get a little lighter. The black activist James Baldwin, and writer and essayist, said that art has to be a kind of confession. And then I read somewhere in an interview where you said that your WUU album, am I pronouncing that? Is it WU album?
It's just called W album.
W. Sorry, of course, W album. You're quoted as saying the theme is not giving a fuck and being upfront about the situation regardless of the outcome. So how would you say that this art is a kind of confession and not giving a fuck regardless of the outcome ties in with this whole idea of not sort of feeling centered in a COVID world? How does that all tie in? Like, can you use this now? Can you not give a fuck about what's going on?
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
Thank you.
So I guess whatever I was going through then, that was in the past, but I guess coming into new gates that I've never would have expected of experiencing in my life.
Okay.
So,
you obviously have hope.
I have hope. I have a lot of hope.
Good. There you go. That's all you need.
I feel like it's gonna. I wouldn't say take years, but I feel like something needs to be sparked up, at least back in me.
It will. It's sort of that. I call it the Cinderella Syndrome, and that is, those damn sisters wanted that shoe to fit so fucking much that they would have done anything to get into that shoe. But you know what? The problem was they were trying too hard. And we sometimes as artists, and the reason I asked you about the control element, because I know for myself and any other artist I've ever worked with, we all have our own little ways of doing things to get us to the point of performance level. And be that in a studio, be that in a live venue. It's a tricky thing. And so I find that we have to have our little games that we play with ourselves to get us into that I'm going to call it performance level of focus, because, like I said, people who've never performed on a regular basis for a live audience have no idea what we're talking about, and it's a level of it's a zone. You're in
totally.
That's the best way you can describe it. So, what keeps you in that zone? Or have you found that zone yet?
I'm still, in my own world, when I do put on the headphones and I get in my studio, closet, that's my zone. I'm blocking out everybody. Like, I'm kind of blacking out and just, I'm in my own world.
Okay.
That's just like everyone else too, right? As an artist,
right?
Taking, it's the time for yourself, right?
Listen, this is in many ways, I consider the self-imposed isolation and whatever you want to call it, a real gift to myself, because I have found the second time around of isolation, or whatever, lockdown, let's put it that way. The first lockdown was not too bad for me at all, quite frankly. The second lockdown has been difficult for me, only because I was just beginning to like the person I got to know during the first lockdown. And now I have to change that again. And that's the frustration I'm wondering if you might feel too.
That's a very interesting way of putting it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, very, same goes for me. You know, first lockdown, I was, you know, I was kind of like, you know, I was getting used to it. I was getting comfortable.
Gift. It was a gift.
Yeah, it was a gift. And, you know, and as an artist too, like, I don't really, I don't work a 9 to 5, you know.
Yeah, I know. I
was just like, you know, I was lucky to just, you know, be doing my music full time.
And you get up any time of the day or night to do it, because, you know, nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's doing anything. I mean, I did not see somebody for 6 weeks. That was a record for me.
I felt like it wasn't, nothing really changed for me. Everyone else's lives changed, but my life was still like, you know, I'm still doing what I love. But, you know, it started, you know, and then it became, you know, 1 year came along and I was like, damn, I haven't networked.
I know. Can I even spell the word network? Yeah. Well, I often say that the second time around for the lockdown was more difficult because, you know, I'm not the same person I was during the first lockdown during the second lockdown because of the first lockdown. Going into the first lockdown, I think the world was in its cockiest and most, what I call, smug moment of pumping out. You know, everything was going full tilt on every level of you know, everybody was pumping out. And finally, something came along that we can't even see with the naked eye and stopped us in our tracks. And so it was a very humbling experience on a global level. And I think artists really realized that this was an opportunity to really create. And if they didn't, they missed a great opportunity to get to know.
I feel like there were so many new artists that have been born to this pandemic.
And in the most, what I call, serendipitous of ways, I was, somebody wrote a song and it went viral. And the end of the story is this young lady was hired by a record company to write lyrics for songs, like, you know.
I think I even signed my record deal during the pandemic.
And I signed with my manager I only know some things because of the pandemic. Do you know, does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, I get you.
And those are the kinds of things that I have to keep in mind, because I'm normally a pretty positive, you know, I wouldn't say happy-go-lucky, but I'm certainly positive about my life and about things in general, only because, you know, when you live long enough, you sort of learn to relax and lean into things. I like that. I like to lean into things more and allow things to happen more organically. So what is the one thing you would say in all of this that's kept you going? Is there one thing that you latch onto? I know you mentioned faith. I know you mentioned your girlfriend. I know you mentioned your friends. But all of that, you know, is the moment you step out of yourself, it changes things because of the way the message has been coming at us through the media. That life has changed and we have to change with it. And sometimes it's hardest to change with the people that are closest to us, be it a girlfriend or friends or whatever. So what in your heart of hearts has kept you, Bunkin, going for you?
Knowing what my end goal will probably be. And, you know, as long as I'm just focusing on myself and just doing, you know, what I love, I know there's, you know, nothing wrong that can happen with that. And so many people that can bring you down when when you're doing what you love. But, you know, that's like, you know, it's just focusing on me.
My theory about that is happy people make people happy. And because I love what I do, I know I'm happy doing it. That transmits to people who are around me, and they come closer to me, and they are happy for me. and then they became happy with me, and I, you know, because and then they become happy within themselves. So it really is a contagion that can be spread, just like anything, you know. And it's people, it's artists like you, it's young men of color like you who are changing the narrative. I have this thing. It's imperative that we change the narrative on people, BIPOC people, because, you know, if you feed a society with negative stories, we can just as easily feed the same society with positive stories. And that's what we have. That's what this revolution is all about. And it's working. And you are part of that revolution. And that's exciting. And I think that's what COVID has done for everybody, has given us a chance to really consider, what the fuck have we been doing, you know, up to COVID?
For real though. Yeah.
You know? And who are we as a humankind, you know?
Yeah.
Humankind.
I definitely got to, you know, I feel like I did a lot of growing up during this, and I did a lot of, you know, I got to figure out who I really am without being, you know, outside in the world where everyone, you know, just everyone kind of plays a little role.
Yes, but isn't it nice you're not defined by any one person but yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. So here's the question then. What advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
You know what? I was thinking about this earlier today.
Yeah, I bet you were.
Just like, you know what? I would still just. I feel like I didn't make any mistakes. if you feel me, I feel like I'm still learning. So,
yeah, that's the only way we only learn from our mistakes. You know that.
Yeah,
we do.
Totally.
I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I taught grade 8 for 25 years. In fact,
oh no, I didn't. No,
grade 8 was my first French student when I went back to teaching after I retired from opera. I taught Drake grade 8 French.
Wow.
So my point is this: if I can teach Drake grade 8 French, I can teach anybody.
I teach Drake.
I can teach anybody. And look,
I love it.
He's done all right for himself, don't you think?
Oh yeah, no, totally.
No,
wow.
Nice kid. He was a nice kid. Anyway, my point is this: that 13-year-olds wear their hearts on their sleeves, and so. Yeah, what would you tell yourself? What advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
I would say just keep it humble. As humble as you can. Yeah. And just coming into the game, like don't try to follow what anyone else is doing.
When did that moment in your life come when there was no turning back? There was a no turning back moment in the sense that you no longer said to yourself, I'm going to do this. You simply said, I am doing this. That whatever that this is, you know, that there was in terms of your career and your music. What was that turning point?
It's like probably signing a record deal.
Okay.
Putting that
that would do it.
Sending that down. Yeah, you're locked in for life.
You know, well, you know what? And how's that going for you? Good family.
Okay. Yeah, everything is okay. Like I'm still I'm always able to release when I want and all that. It's not a very complicated deal.
It doesn't have to be complicated. You know, we want to keep it simple because life's complicated. So let's. I'm going to ask you these last two things, but I'm going to go to something different. I asked you earlier what your zodiac sign. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a Virgo.
Yeah, I got it on my face right here.
What's that?
It's a Virgo.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to read something about Virgos. This is a zodiac sign book that I have, and
this is new. I like this.
So. Virgo, you don't have to tell us your exact birthday. August 24th, September 23rd, people. Butter wouldn't melt in your mouth. True or false? You are so prim and proper.
It's true.
You're a real dreamboat.
True.
A little sweetheart.
Very true.
Although first impressions can often be misleading, this is not the case. Your smile wins favors and melts the coldest of hearts.
Oh, yes.
Fuck. But with your straightforward, sensible approach to life, you don't mess around or suffer fools gladly.
Very true.
Okay. Hey, we're batting 1,000 here. Shall we continue a little bit? You have a very well-developed sense of decorum, of how to act within yourself.
I don't even know what decorum means.
Decorum means that it means that if you're in church, you know how to act in church. If you're in a mall, you know how to act in a mall.
Oh, yeah, easy.
Easy. You sort of take in your surroundings and act accordingly.
Parents love me.
Yeah, right, exactly. While others are goofing around, you're the guy who stays sober to drive everyone home afterward. That's a good. No, okay. No. You like cleanliness, cool cotton, and other natural materials.
Yes.
You dislike dirt, mess, squalor, or gossips.
Say that again.
You dislike dirt, mess, squalor, or gossips. Well, who doesn't, eh? Like, who doesn't?
Yeah. I don't like any of that.
This is getting a bit lame. Okay, so we're going to go on to turn-on triggers. You like scented oil massage, caressing, licking, and kissing the skin, and sex in the shower.
Sex in the shower, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay, let's get this straight. So, scented oil massage?
Yeah,
yes?
I guess, yeah.
Caressing?
Yeah.
Licking and kissing the skin?
Licking, I don't know. Only so far with the licking. Trying to brush your teeth. Okay. Yeah, I've thought of people who like to surf. Well, there you go. Well, are you set up by any chance to play any tunes for us right at the moment, or no? I can't because I got a noise complaint, and yeah, so I can't really get anything. I can't get boogie with it.
Hey, you know what? Someday you're going to be able to say, I got a noise complaint. I always, people who tell me to shut up when I start singing, I say,
you know what's funny? It wasn't even like music was going on. It's just the guy downstairs for me. He's just not having it.
Well, you know what? There's no accounting for bad taste. Bad taste on his part. Not having good taste on his part is what I'm trying to say. So what's different about the way you see the world now as opposed to pre-COVID?
I see how fucked up the world is. I didn't realize how fucked up it was. It's pretty fucked up.
Are you in terms of you looking out, or you looking around? Because there's a difference of perspective. Are you part of this? Are you part of this fucked up world, or are you looking at it?
I'm looking at it fucked up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that fucking your world up?
Because, also, mind you, in between the time that COVID happened, I actually just moved out of, my family's house. So, I'm just only dealing with, real life crazy-ass situations and shit.
You're doing great. You know this. If you had, I'm amazed. That's got to be really something.
Not a lot of people know that actually. So I'm just getting on my own and stuff. So it's different for me, and just being, in this historical time and doing it, on your own. It's crazy.
You have referred to that at least 3 times in our conversation, which tells me that's a good thing because you're aware of your environment. You're aware of the environment in which you are making music and trying to move others with your music or touch others. And that's what I meant by, I know within my operatic world friends, they have not really sung for a year. There's been no opera production.
Yeah. I was blessed enough to play a show during the pandemic, but it was, as I said, it wasn't how I wanted it. It's very separated.
Yes. No, I understand.
And only capacity of 50 people. It's really not the same when you know.
No. And that's when you can imagine, you know, that's when your math comes in handy and say, okay, it's going to be 50 in my head. It will be 50 times 100.
Yeah. I'm terrible at math, but when it comes to show sizes and stuff,
hey, so am I. You're talking to the right person. I'm lousy at math. So tell us, in addition to this wonderful project of 20 songs, and I'd like to maybe delve into it a little more. What is your vision for the future in addition to this Sex in the City project?
I was hoping to actually just be on the road with it, touring, and you know, a lot has changed since the beginning of the process.
Right.
And you know, I've had to plan different things differently.
Right.
I have to, you know, really just go back to the blueprints and just be like, how am I actually going to release this? I really just have, all the plans are always changing, especially when I see a post and it's like, okay, lockdown is coming back again. Like, I just never know what's going on. So, but at the end of the day, like, the whole goal was just, you know, to just get it around the world as much as I possibly could.
Any plan B, so to speak? Like, are there other ideas that you have? Are there
plan B is get a job. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
well, you know,
pretty much it.
Amen. You got an audience full of people listening to you on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's crazy, actually, just like, you know, going from doing what you love and then having to really just completely switch up the lifestyle. A lot of people have been. Yeah,
I've been there. I know what it's like, and it's I remember having 3 jobs at one point. I never was sure where I was going when, at one point in my life. But you know what? I have to tell you, I turned 65 last year, and if I had known 65 was going to be this good, I would have turned 65 a long ago. So there's just keep up that sense of positive vibes. You know as well as anyone that because you are an artist, that what you give out to the universe is what you're going to receive, and I think the fact that, again, that you've acknowledged your surroundings within the COVID world, and you've also been acknowledged your vulnerabilities, not just to yourself, but now to, in this conversation. Mm-hmm. All of that is so positive. All of that is so, those are moments of growth. And if I have one thing I could say to you and young people in the same situation, not that this is, take it for what it is, it's just, life is all about the long haul, and there are no short-term fixes. There really aren't, because anything that's short-term is just that, it's short-term. So I would suggest that COVID has given us a long-term opportunity to think about our priorities to take with us for the long haul. And from what I can hear from your recordings, my friend, you've got it all. You've got it all wrapped up. Just keep tapping into who you are and what you're all about. Stay true to yourself. Don't worry about the jobs; they'll come. It'll happen. It'll happen.
I really appreciate that. It really means a lot. It really does.
Well, God bless. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our wonderful conversation from the Academy of Enlightenment, the online community where the faithfully fashionable come to learn that without faith in yourself,
thank you so much for having me. Too.
Yes, amen. And without style, you don't have a chance in hell. And you can see and hear that this young man before us has that. And aces. God bless, bud. Take care.
Yeah, have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.